Think about it is the fact that I feel like we need to have a concise understanding of the things that are currently happening at this point right now with the game, when it comes to the laws that are being passed, or when it comes to all of the stuff that's currently taking place. So we got a brother who really focuses on the aesthetic of law, specifically Moorish law. He has a segment that he does on via the internet. It's a viral segment that's picking up a consistent amount of steam called "What's Your Nationality?" We have the LordMurk-El in the business, in the building. Business and in the building with the Dropout World Order. Say peace, family.
Islam Moors, Islam family. Praise.
Praise God.
So it's a pleasure to be able to have him here. You understand what I'm saying? And like one of the core reasons why, like I said before, I called you was because I know that law and youth and culture is like your thing. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's been occurring. First and foremost, what does the Moorish influence play in just the basis of American culture, specifically right now at this moment, as well as, in regards to it building, you know what I mean? Like its influence in like American culture in general, not necessarily right now, but as a whole.
Right. All right. Well, first, as a member of the Moorish-American Temple of America, it's a custom that we rise to give praise to the Almighty Great God Allah, Father of the universe and the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We give high honors to the Holy Prophet Noble Jew Ali, the founder of the Moorish-American Temple of America, and all the true and divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. Also rise to give honors to everyone and everything that honors are doing in each and every one of you. Now, in response to your answer, brother.
Thank you, family.
The Moorish influence in relation to the American society as a whole, because I don't want to just and not to change the question, but to build on American cultures, it's somewhat of a difficult topic due to the variations of cultures and the interpretations. But society in general, the Moorish influence as of we can start right now in the early thousands. The Moorish influence has given a lot of people number one, self-esteem. We talking about people who are so-called Negroes, disenfranchised peoples in North America, who are not Negroes, all coloreds, all blacks. They've had the audacity or courage to take up arms at times against their oppressor. Sometimes, they would even speaking up would be, quite amazing and, not expected. But then you see the more intelligent and the more composed ones, actually taking their time to say, you know what? The world isn't ruled by the so-called white man. It isn't impossible for me to, get out of the situation that I'm in. And they found that resolve, or what the Prophet called in the Holy Quran, that resolution. And so when they acquired this resolution by learning about, being Moorish, a pride comes with that, and that pride has impacted our culture everywhere, from Martin, the show Martin, to even now when we see shows like even Empire, and we see shows like Scandal, they're giving you your history, they're giving you the science, the empire. What's the what empires? Name three: the British, the Roman, and the what? Moorish, not the Spanish. The Spanish is the name that was given to us in the 1500s. Right. So they basically telling us our downfall. And once you've acquired, or you become acquisition with, the Moorish influence, not so much even the knowledge, wisdom, or understanding. It's merely the influence of, this is the people that I come from. This is what they did. You can kind of sort of connect the dots. So where you are now and what you can do. Like for example, what's going on in Scandal. That's what's not supposed to be happening, right? That happening is what God is saying in the first place. So everybody's watching, and they're like, oh, they're not interested in the show. They're interested in themselves. They're seeing that history being replayed of them right in here and now. Right. But let's go back to the 1700s, because America as a republic is only 240 years old.
Right.
All right, so George Washington, right? Everybody thinks he's a so-called white man, right? How many Europeans named Washington? Hold on. Now, while you're doing that, right? While you do the knowledge to that, right? There's a nation called Washington, right? All right, that sounds good. Now, you just said Jackson. I was just about to say, find me a European named Jackson.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'll wait. I mean, I'll come back tomorrow if you got it. You know what I'm saying?
You can call in.
And when you look at what truly is Moorish influence,
You know, the 5 principles of the Moorish nation's flag. When you look at a 5-pointed green flag in the center, 5 points represent love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. This is known by, you know, high degree so-called Masons, Muslim sons, Freemasons, you know, Shriners, Rosicrucians. This is known by, you know, high degree scholars. This is known by, you know, low-level gangbangers. You know, what's popping? You know, Islam. Yo, Key 20, Mo. What? Key 20, what's that? Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Salam Mujaway Penda. So you got these people speaking their native language and, you know, propagating and promoting love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice because they're the highest principles known to man. So now we look at the American Constitution. What was the American Constitution was based on, number one, a love for a country, patriotism. The truth that, you know, really, we didn't feel like we, you know, owe Britain taxes because y'all owe Morocco. So y'all owe Morocco, we owe Morocco. And we just paid Morocco, so you owe Morocco, so we don't owe you nothing. That's basically, you know, then peace. Listen, y'all always coming up in our territory and, you know, and it wasn't really Europeans on Europeans. It was like more, it was our people doing them dirty. Like, yo, you keep running up in our houses. You basically keep running up in our women. And I'm saying, yo, we need something. Yo, we need to do something. We need peace. And we need tranquility, we need order, we need structure, we need mathematics, we need Islam. Then you got freedom, liberty. I do what I want, when I want, where and how. Why? Because I'm God and I know I'm it. And I know, but how to be God? And being God or the possessor of holding power, or the possessor of force and through course of power properly. And then justice. Justice is the reward of penalty for one's words, works, and deeds. So when you talk about justice, you have a whole system, an entire administration, and you have an entire portion of a branch of government solely designed for justice, which would be the judicial branch. So, and when you go into the 3 branches of government, we talk about 3, we talk about knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We talk about freedom, justice, and equality. We talk about food, clothing, shelter. We talk about love, peace, and happiness. We talk about executive, legislative, and judicial. So, you know, a lot, you know, let's look at the science of numbers. You know, everything in America is numbered. 50 states, 48 states, 13 colonies, 6 European nations. You know what I'm saying? 7 red stripes. Why the 7 red stripes? Because the 7 red stripes, when you look behind the white and you look behind the blue and you look behind the stars, you see that red flag? You got 6 European nations. The 6 European nations used to be the former tribes who were civilized by the Moors and taught language. Who during the era of the English language in 1828 brought them out of the dialects of Latin that they knew they really didn't know how to speak. One of the dialects of Latin being Spanish, which is why they were calling us Negroes. You know what I'm saying? And we bring them up to, you know, that high civilization. You know, when we look at all the numbers around the world, and then of course America is known for more money. When you look at numbers all around the world, every single number is an Arabic character. From 1 to 9 to 0. No university, so this is true.
That the Moorish is not just in America, but on the entire planet. All 24,896 miles of circumference. All 57,255,000 square miles of land.
Everywhere you go.
Anywhere you go.
I think it's straight numbers!
You know, disrespect, you know, but because we on the show, it's important for me to, you know, definitely point out I'm not a nigga. My nationality is Moorish-American. But, you know, I'm from the street too, so I totally understand that. But one thing that we had to do is, you know, like even like when we in the house, you know, and you know, we might, even though we saying, yo, what's up, my nigga, we speaking our native language.
Yeah, negos.
Negos.
Not even. I was even gonna go all the way to Hikupitar, what they call Ethiopia now. You know, I was gonna bring it back to right here in North America 300 years ago. We were speaking Latin. We were calling our slaves nigger. Why nigga? Because nigga is black.
The thing is, like, the term nigga, or, because you know, if I'm not mistaken, you have like 2 different terms that denote specifically, like 2 different classifications of people of indigenous descent.
Asiatic?
Yeah. You have like, you know, they had like the split between the names of like Morenos, and you have like the Negra, you know what I mean? Like the Negra, like denoting the property, and the
then
Morenos.
You have the quarter-runes and the octoroons that you see.
Right.
Well, you know, that comes from the caste system that the Hindustani Moors have been operating under for quite some time. So when you look in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and you see when Jesus was speaking to the Hindus, right? And they were speaking about their caste system. They were taught that heaven was so far away and that they had to live so many lives before they got there. Jesus walked up and said, brother, man, your thoughts are wrong. Heaven is not a place to be reached. It's not a place of meets and bounds. It's not a country. Heaven is not above, below, around, but within. So with that understanding, you know, we are creators and we make our own. So now, as creators, you know, we're going Asiatics, you know what we good at doing? Making stuff up. Asiatics are particularly, it seems, designed to make stuff up because we're creative people. So in the creation of people, while we were perfecting our institution of slavery, which is known as the franchise, which those people of the franchise, they became the French, and then the Franks, and then finally the Frenchmen. Mm-hmm. So the franchise of slavery we had been instituted upon them was perfected via division. Why does the devil call our people African? You know what I'm saying? To make our people in North America believe that the people on that continent are all they have and are all savage. Mm-hmm. So right. That's science. Then Yaku's law, the separating of the germ, and the so-called black man exists two germs, one black and one brown. Mm-hmm. You start getting these different types of complexions, and then you don't really know what's what because we're all so beautiful. And then 240 years later, you run around telling people that I got a white man on my, and then that's an Asiatic, stupid. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He changed the picture up, but that he was just like you, just mad light skin.
Most definitely, because the whole thing about it is the fact of I think what people don't have a very a real sense of understanding is knowing that our people created all of the basis of civilization and all of the different basic spiritual systems that we.
That's right.
That we ultimately call religion today. You understand what I'm saying? Whether it be the ancient Kemetic science, whether it be even like the Hindus. Like I was having this conversation, I would say that the Hindus are the children of the Dravidians as well as the Indo-Europeans. You know what I mean? The Dravidians are ultimately the descendants of the dialects as well as the Sudras who came from the Nile Valley civilization and migrated into the Indus Kush Valley. Mm-hmm. So like you talk about that, and you talk about the influence of them even traveling from the Indus Kush Valley into East Asia, into China, into Japan, the worship of the Nagas that first utilized the worship of the serpent beings, and then changed into dragons. And we're always talking about our people Kundalini-based, Sekhem-based energies and Sekhem-based beings.
Yeah.
So even like with the basis of Islam, you know what I mean? When you talk about the basis of Islam isn't necessarily as a religion as it is like a cultural system that our ancestors really created to start civilizing these individuals who were living savage and who were being savage, and created the basis of law, the same way that the Israelites did the same thing. You know what I mean? Based off of that's like the primary reason why there is like 613 commandments in regards to ancient Israelite law, and as well as the basis of when it comes to Islam as well. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's like you're talking about law because people restriction. Yeah, you need restriction because people didn't know what the fuck they were doing or who the fuck they were. So you talk about the I forget Booker T. Coleman talks about the goddess Modest tribe, if I'm not mistaken, that actually migrated from the Nile Valley civilization and headed pretty much into Greece, headed into Rome. Headed into what is now popularly known as Spain. You know what I mean? Then we got
these original people.
All these original people. And then we also talking about the Spanish Inquisition, which really gave birth to the reason why Christopher Columbus actually had the ability to come in to what we consider to be North America. You understand what I'm saying?
And we know about Christopher Columbus back in 1930 in the Department of Supreme Wisdom. And Lost Found Muslim Lesson number 1 of the God City 114, where it says his full name was Christopher Columbus.
Right.
He was born in Italy, in Southeast Europe. Columbus was a half original man.
Right.
Mm-hmm. What is a half original man? What is a half? Go find one. Holla at me. You know what I'm saying? As far as Islam, because you say that, the Islam that is propagated now is a culture.
Right.
See, the Islam that I practice is a religion.
Right.
Because a religion is a practice. Some people practice law. I practice peace. Mm-hmm. See, there are laws in peace, and all the laws are peace because laws are to keep the peace. Therefore, one practicing law might be considered a Muslim. How about we all considered Muslims because we all
people of peace?
So in that sense, Islam, knowing no set birth record, is older than the sun, moon, and stars. Mm-hmm. But who created the sun, moon? So Islam must be as old as the creator of the sun, moon, and stars. Mm-hmm. But we know Islam is mathematics, has no beginning and end. Mm-hmm. So now we see, from 570 AD, the birth of the Prophet Muhammad, you got people speaking the language referred to as Spanish, a little bit more west to that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? While he's speaking, you're right, so-called Spanish part, and thank you, why they speaking on the east, they speak in mathematics, which is now referred to as Arabic. And so, now, and not the Arabic that they speak in now, because they say Arabic and Aramaic and Aramaic. Right. All those, if we were speaking our own language, that wasn't what we would call it. So we're just calling it that as a reference.
Indeed.
The like the Arabic that's spoken now, like As-salam and all that. Yeah, I speak in Farsi. I'm speaking all the languages are the original man's, you know what I'm saying? But Farsi, I was given to, we gave languages to people, you know what I'm saying? So we gave English to ourselves. It was a social construct.
Yeah, most definitely. And English is a dead language. You understand what I'm saying? We're talking about
spoken by dead people.
Hey man,
you don't know how to lack the knowledge of self.
That's pretty much more or less what it is. And like the whole thing about it, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. We was talking about the basis of white supremacy. I'm not a racist at all. I don't look at it racist. I look at it from the basis of what it is, based off of having a concise understanding of who my ancestors were, knowing that these people are really our ancestors' children. So the whole thing about it is like, and the basis of that and having a concise understanding of that is knowing that these children are just rowdy and rambunctious. And what we're dealing with is people who lack the efficiency to be able to understand the concept of internalizing anything, to internalize the knowledge of the universe, to internalize the concept of God. Right. Therefore, the civilization that we live and participate in externalizes everything. Right. You know what I mean? So they externalize the concept of God outside of themselves and all of those different things. Hence the reason why none of the buildings actually last no longer than 100 to 200 years. Meanwhile, we're talking about pyramids that, really? You know what I mean? That pyramids that are still here, that are still active for well over the course of 10,000 years or so. Yeah. So the whole thing about it is the fact that we gotta have an understanding of what white supremacy is. White supremacy is an inferiority complex. You know what I mean? It's an illusion and it's an inferiority complex that's perpetuated by his sense of inferiority to us. And it's been that way based off of the insurrection of Christopher Columbus. Even when he landed on North America, he thought it was in India.
If I may?
You know what I mean? Yeah, please do.
And I certainly don't believe the notion that Christopher Columbus was ignorant and thought that he what India looks like.
Right.
Number one, India's not tropical.
Right.
You don't land in DR and think you in India, my man. You don't DA, like my man didn't hit over there in India. They weren't speaking Arabic and Hebrew, what we call Arabic and Ibri. So when you got to Cuba and he's speaking Arabic and Ibri, and he's like, yo, listen, I need a translator. Why you? Nah, you wasn't expecting to go speak whatever they were speaking over there, which was probably maybe a spoken dialect of Sanskrit. So these people knew what they were doing when they were doing it. And when we go into social constructs and language, and we say English is a dead language, you got to look at the words that we use. We don't even know the definitions of the words that we use when we use it.
Indeed.
When you say black, the Asiatic black man. The original lessons of the Messenger of Allah, Elijah Muhammad, they had black in parentheses. They also said Muslim. And if I'm lying, then find some evidence to refute me, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people like, yo man, you know the Messenger, you can't even quote your lessons. Those are recited by heart. Do all your lessons on official paper, memory. You know what I'm saying? So when you go into what is black? Black come from blanco. Blanco is pale. You know what I'm saying? So we talking about black. Every time we look at something that's dark, we call it black, and we describing it to pale. So every time that we look at something light, we call it white. Why? Because white means purity, purity means God, and God means ruler of the land. So we're looking at something pale that's dead, and we're giving it life. Is English the dead language, or is English the language of life giving? It depends on who's building it. It's just like medicine. It's just like science.
It's that double-edged sword.
Indeed.
So
indeed. In regards of the template of a Moorish law, how do you think that? How do you think the importance of actually claiming a nationality can be beneficial to you specifically at this point right now, where all of these laws are being passed to pretty much prevent people from, living free, living as free beings?
At the present moment in time, nationality is the order of the day. Living free starts with thinking free. A lot of people say, the white man got guns. It don't matter if you're so weak, punk. You know what I'm saying? If you really the original man is God and owner of the earth, knows every square inch of it. So once you understand that and realize that, you have to start with unlocking your mind. I don't come from a continent. I don't come from a country.
Right.
I don't come from a planet. I don't come from the universe. I am this.
Right.
Indeed.
And so the organic people are referred to as a nation. Once you know who these people are, you could go into the so-called Dominican spot and build with them in your own language and build an equality. And they'll respect you and admire you so much to have a knowledge yourself that they'll give you a free salad. They'll give, you know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Dog got that free salad too.
They'll give you a discount. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Look, I'm always getting my taxes, and then they charged me the tax, and I said, you know what? You just gave me the tax. Like, I'm not even gonna play with you on the tax. I'm gonna just pay that. It's 80 cents. Can't take that, cause you know what? That's more like a tip. And then now, if I could do that in a restaurant, what's stopping me from a so-called Dominican business owner viewing me in the same light and saying, you know what? I like what you're doing, cause you know who I am. You know who you are more than I know who I am. Even though I'm aware we're both the same people.
Right.
Let me, I want to further your endeavor and what you're doing, because it says in chapter 4 of the Holy Quran that men need a pattern for their lives. Men love to follow, not to lead. And if you're going, and I'm gonna paraphrase just to get to the point that if you telling people to do something that you don't do, people gonna mess up. Just like when people was listening to hearing Moore say drive without a license. And this dude is taking a bus back and forth. Get out my face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The sister running around back and forth with tags and plates and licenses from the state telling you that you don't need, you know what I'm saying, and all this other foolishness. And in reality, when I proclaimed my nationality, it wasn't just, I'm better than you now. I'm not black. No, it was more like, I'm Moorish-American, I gotta act like it. Nationality is that quality of character. So to sum it up, when you proclaim your nationality, you
gotta live that elevation. You gotta live it.
You live different.
Right.
You move different. You treat your brother with more love, with more respect, with more honor. It's like when the guards get 120, and I'm 120 saying, peace, guard. You know what I'm saying? And this, you got that, you got that knowledge, and you get, you might go into the mosque, and you go in and you have, Assalamu alaikum, peace, but may I help you with this? How are you? What's going? You learn psychology, you learn communication, you learn how to speak, you learn how to act. But then you get that, where's that pride of, okay, I'm more than just an Asian. My nationality is Moorish-American. I'm an American citizen. Certain things belong to me. It's not, this is the white man's civilization. No, everything is your civilization.
Right.
So now I'm gonna vote. Who I'm going
facts! That nigga talking facts right now in the building.
I'm gonna vote for Citi. I'm gonna vote for Citi, and we all gonna vote for Citi because Citi gonna be our elector, and Citi's gonna elect one of us to represent all of us.
Right.
Indeed.
So
that's how it works.
Oh well, how you gonna vote somebody into the because the white man got guns and the white man got I got Twitter. What are you talking about?
Right.
Stupid.
Right.
This ain't 1985. You dropping bombs in Philadelphia.
Exactly.
You're right.
Exactly.
I have my mind.
You're using it.
I got my mind too. But even somebody without a mind, if you got a YouTube account, you getting likes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So if
Yep.
just like the brother who got killed in Ferguson, Kajime Powell, I believe. And they gunned him down. And what happened? Nothing happened.
That was the brother that was in front of the store, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
And what happened? Nothing happened. Why? Because everybody was busy on YouTube. Everybody was video. All right. Now imagine if the people watching it had a nationality and they said, my Moorish brother, yo, I'm gonna call my Grand Sheik right now. And everybody saw caught in the Grand Sheik called the National Grand, and now you got 100,000 Moors outside of the precinct. Like, listen, you know what? I almost forgot I was American. How about we do take you to trial? My fault, almost messed up. Cause you're not gonna have no burning buildings here and there, and a little riot like they did in Ferguson. Are you stupid? First off, you're fired. The mayor, get out of here. Commissioner, you out of here. Senator, you might get it too. Attorney General, Eric Holder, Islam, what's going on? Listen, I need to appeal to you for redress of grievances as is my constitutional right, because I am one of we the people of the United States, of posterity of the forefathers, the founding fathers, your daddy. And Eric Holder looking like, what? Who you call? What you mean my dad? I am my daddy. He's like, oh, you the original man. I almost forgot. But you be, you know what I'm saying? People so much, and because they are around in that society and that social construct and structure, that they start to assimilate into it.
Right.
So now we find ourselves lack of social equality.
I mean, that's the absolute truth. So
So
I think that.
Uh-huh.
Pardon me, that's my mama calling.
City gave calls from the old earth.
Under your bag of food.
I think the truth of what you're saying is very, 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 very important, and we really need to start having a real dialogue about that. You know what I mean? Because the truth of the matter is that there's laws that are being passed unbeknownst to us. It's like I was just saying earlier in the show that it's 2015 and people still don't know what the Patriot Act is.
Yep, and DAA, what's that?
Yeah, people don't know what the National Defense Authorization Act is. People don't know what posse comitatus is.
People don't know what their nationality is. You can sit there and ask them what's their nationality and sit there and fight you. I got videos.
Right.
You go to facebook.com/LordMurk-El, LordMurkel, and we're gonna repeat that a few times for whoever's listening.
Yes, sir.
Like people who from a country, they have a nationality, they could, you know what I'm saying?
Fact.
You ask an Asiatic in North America, he'll say black, someone say Negro, someone say African, someone say whatever. So how you expect somebody to know something about law? To be a civilian, one is to be knowledgeable of law. In order to be a civilian, you must be civil. The 85% of the uncivilized people, poison animal eaters, slaves for mental death and power, people who do not know who the true and living God is, nor their origin in this world. What's your nationality? And they worship that which they know not what. Whether you a Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Baptist, even if you Moorish-American. If you all up in the temple on Friday and Sunday, you talking about praise Allah to a mystery God in the sky, emphatically now cipher, bump fire. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Word up, true and living.
Easily led in the wrong direction,
hard to lead
into the right direction.
That's right.
So these people are uncivilized, and it's not their fault. They were made blind, deaf, and dumb when they were babies, which is why it's so important.
It's the conditioning.
The conditioning.
It's the conditioning.
And so and so what do you do with conditioning? You rinse it out. You bring that water in. And then after that, it's going to see we required this conditioning. We required that because we had so much disdain for one another that we had to be placed in a situation where we had no other choice but to look on one another. Like within the next 50 years, the meanest God body, the meanest Muslim, the meanest Israelite, you all gonna have to bear witness to Moorish-American. Because when we walking up to cast our ballot and they not letting you in, you gonna go right down the block to one of the temples, because we gonna have temples everywhere. And you're going to proclaim your nationality just to vote. And even if you got the card in your pocket, you're like, oh, I'm an Israelite. Whatever. We know who you are for real. Because you got that state ID in your pocket. You got that driver's license. You know what I'm saying? You got that apartment that you're paying rent in. I mean, and nobody's going to take it away from you because you're a citizen.
The whole thing about it is the fact that when it comes to religion, people have to, when it comes to religion, the truth of the matter is that our ancestors used religion the same way that a political candidate would use a specific Democratic or Republican basis of a party.
That's right.
You know what I mean? To pretty much go around in regards to begin the process of beginning civilizing people. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. And also introducing civilization to people who weren't practicing, civilized tactics.
Only one person on the planet was like that too.
Right.
Because all people, we always had some type of practice.
Right.
You know, I'm saying in the Quran that Christianity was made by their forefathers for their earthly salvation, while Islam was made by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation.
Right.
Because you got the Christianity, but you know what you lack in your heart? You might have all the love in the heart. You might have the truth. The truth, brother, I got the truth. But if you're not at peace,
bro,
go ahead, man.
You need that peace.
And you'll never do yourself
love,
justice.
peace, and happiness.
We gotta wrap
Yo, we gonna take a break. We got to get up out of here.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, man. It's definitely the truth right there. And, what we just want to tell people is the fact that you just need to be aware. Be aware. Contact the brother.